that the Greeks believed in Zeus before there was a Jesus. So are they all now in hell? Egyptians believed in many gods. Are they in hell?
Okay, back to the salvation issue.
People love that.
Mhm.
Someone's the same person calling in.
Yeah, back to the salvation issue. Everyone who does not believe in Jesus as a Lord and Savior goes to hell.
Okay, that was it.
Yeah, that's simple. Tie it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we covered the flat. Could you explain the sun and the stars?
The Bible gives a explanation for the stars. Okay, and the sun and the stars are not one and the same. Okay, the stars are not massive balls of gas according to the Bible. The stars are actually, according to the Bible, the angels and stars are used interchangeably in the Bible. Stars are basically are according to the Bible, angels. All right. The Bible says, Jesus said it himself, all the stars one day would fall to the earth. Okay. So
Talking about the rapture.
No, I'm talking about. I think we're talking about during the period of time called the 7-year tribulation, and I do believe in dispensations. Okay. So during the 7-year tribulation, I think this is when it's supposed to happen. All the stars are going to fall to the earth. Okay. Now, if the stars are actually massive balls of superheated flaming gas with and a bunch of and millions and trillions of them have planets that surround that orbits them like our sun and our heliocentric system.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we got a problem. Okay, if the Bible says at least four different times that all the stars would fall to heaven, would fall to the earth. So if we've got Betelgeuse coming our way, which is 1,000 times larger than our own sun, we've got problems. Okay, and potentially some contradictions with the Bible.
Well, I don't think they could be gaseous nuclear bombs if they are angels.
Right. Yeah, the Bible actually does not describe the creation of planets either. Planets is something that has been created by our quote unquote scientists that we all trust and love. Okay, and planets were not they were known as stars, and then there were wandering stars. Okay, and the wandering stars are what we have attributed to the title of being called planets. Okay.
Yeah.
And they led us to believe that these wandering stars were all terra firma, like Mars. Okay, that we could go fly a spaceship to and land on and walk around and start a colony and that sort of thing. Okay, and so, anyways, the stars, if they are big flaming balls of gas, that would be something in science. That I take the Bible way more literally than I did back before March of this year. Okay, so the Bible uses it's interchangeable with stars and the angels.
Mm-hmm.
So I am now of the belief that the stars that when we look up there,
mm-hmm.
they're angels. The Bible also says that God named the stars. Okay, now
Not us?
Us?
Yeah. I mean, we say that's Orion's belt. We say.
Oh, well, he gave them different names. The Bible doesn't tell us what he named them.
Oh, like that's.
But he gave each individual star its own name. Okay, and what's interesting is that what we know is that there's more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on a beach. Okay. What'd you say?
He has to be, if we know the names.
Do we know those names?
He determines the number of the stars and calls them each by name. It just says that he calls them by name. No,
Yeah.
it's been established.
Yes,
Okay,
it's
I was
interesting.
like, do we really know all the stars' names? And
That'd be a whole.
Oh, no.
we've been
No.
using the North Star, and it could be like something kick-ass.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be a totally different name. The Polaris, the North Star is called Polaris.
Yeah, there you go.
We call it Polaris, but
Could
guys
be
probably
something
got a
else.
different.
Could be
name for it.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff
could be
the
Jeff.
Star.
Yeah, could be John Marcus.
Could be John Marcus. That would be
You named
great.
the star after you.
I've named plenty of stars after myself. So
Yeah,
if being one for 100, that sounds great to me.
right.
So going back to, okay, so we kind of scooched over gravity. Like we scooched over it. At what point?
Oh, yeah.
Do you
explanation
start
for gravity.
believing when it conflicts? Like, do you just stop believing in science? Like, do you believe in, how your car alarm works, or do you believe in like when you go home?
Oh,
hot and cold
yeah, I'm
shower?
absolutely okay. There's a difference between science and scientism.
Okay.
Evolution, the theory of evolution, is a good example of scientism. Okay. Do you believe that we evolved from a single-celled organism 4.6 billion years ago?
Do I believe that?
Yeah.
If that is what the
I do.
it's not so much not so much what I believe, it's what's proven and where everything's kind of, like, it's not a system of belief for me. It's like what are we able to prove? Okay, what are the top guys in their field?
Now they haven't proven it.
Why would they think that though?
There's zero. Now I don't want
Do
this.
they just come up with
I actually don't want this to turn into an creation
No.
evolution.
That's another day.
Yeah, that is.
That's next week's episode. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So, anyways, but there is no evidence for evolution.
Zero.
It's something that you have to accept by faith. There's no science that exists to prove that we evolved from a single-celled organism or from an ape. That they show us the pictures. They got a picture of a
I thought
wolf.
they had skeletons. What they have skeletons? I think I went to a
Oh yeah, the skeletons.
evolutionary
That doesn't prove anything.
museum exhibit sort of thing, and it was
You can't prove that it had kids. You can't prove that it actually died where you found it. A lot of the skeletons that they create. Yes. A lot of the skeletons that you see are based upon a single tooth that they find sometime, and they build the entire skeleton from that single tooth. Out of a tooth.
Okay. What do you believe in dinosaurs?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. I believe that dinosaurs were just giant lizards. They were called, and they grew to be big. The lizards grew to be big, and they were called dragons. And dinosaurs have always lived with man. And there's even some dinosaurs that are still alive today, such as the Loch Ness monster, which is a plesiosaur, which can be best described as a plesiosaur, anyways. The Ogopogo monster, the Lake Champlain monster. There's a bunch of them.
I've never heard of the yoga.
What about Bigfoot?
Bigfoot. There's a bunch of undiscovered creatures in cryptozoology. The chupacabra is another cryptozoological creature, just like Bigfoot. And there's tons of, and we do know one thing. Okay, there are tons of life right here on the Earth that we still haven't discovered yet, that we still have not come close to even discovering.
Yeah.
The oceans haven't even been explored. 10% of the ocean. It is said that we know more about space than we know about our own oceans.
But we know nothing about space, apparently.
Yeah, you're right.
See,
but it has
right
been
there.
said. Yeah, but that's from my old
It's
world.
got to be a confusing.
That's from my old world view.
Right. So it's got to be like a confusing thing, though, to bring up evidence for something else that directly contradicts the new, because you're relatively new flat earther, right?
Yes.
So you've been around Earther most of your life.
Oh yeah. Whenever we went to school together, I was
Around Earth.
I was absolutely around Earth. Yeah. Yeah, all the way up until March of this year, whenever I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm a flat earther now.
Now, when we
I prefer the term enclosed cosmology though, because
enclosed
whenever you
cosmology,
say that flat Earth,
it comes with a stigma. Is that what you're talking about?
there's not just a stigma, okay, but the first thing that people think of is just a flat disk, okay, that's floating in space among 8 other planets that's orbiting the sun.
But those planets don't exist.
Okay, the whole heliocentric model doesn't exist. Okay,
Right.
That's what I used to think about flat Earth. You know, flat earthers just believe in a disk that's floating around in space and it's orbiting the sun, and that's what flat earthers believe, and they're all crazy because they believe this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, flat earthers. Now, I'm not with. I do not side with the Flat Earth Society. Okay.
You're your own sect from the Flat Earth Society.
I am not with the Flat Earth Society at all. Okay. I'm not with any Flat Earth group. Okay. I mainly believe that there is enough evidence that has been presented to prove, number one, that we haven't been to the moon. That was the first thing. That was the first thing that I had to overcome. Okay, we haven't been to the moon. Okay, now what else are they lying to us about? Okay, they went to the moon, number one, to bring back a picture of the Earth, to show us that we lived on a ball. It was the first time in history that we had a device that could go high enough to take a picture, to take a full picture of the Earth and tell us what exactly it was that we were living on. Okay? It was the first time in history we could do that.
I think they already knew we were
yeah, but this was the first time that
Mary wants to call in. Kat Figan says that Mary wants to know if she can call in. And Corey Doss says, are images of our solar system...
What's up, Corey?
Are images of our solar system produced from telescopes real? Are images of the solar system produced from telescopes?
Go ahead.
Actually, the images that are produced, they all debunk themselves. You can go on the internet and you can just look up pictures of the planet Earth on the internet. Earth from space.
Earth from space.
Okay.
You're going to say they're composites.
Yeah. Okay. This is where your minimal.
I've done minimal research. And that's what they always say. They're just composite photos. But you know what that means?
Photoshop.
They're able to take one piece at a time and then put them together.
Right. And that's why Robert Simmons, either Richard Simmons or Robert Simmons. That's what he was a Earth or a globe artist, and he publicly announced that they use Photoshop, but they have to use Photoshop to create
in order to.
Okay. However, if we got all these satellites that's going out, and taking pictures of all the different planets and sending them back and stuff, okay, and we've got about 6,000 satellites. I think the number is up to about 6,000 satellites that are just orbiting the Earth.
But those satellites don't exist, apparently.
I'm talking about if the globe model is true.
Okay. All right. So you're going down a rabbit hole. I got you.
Yeah. Okay. If the globe model is true, we've got 6,000 satellites out there that's taking pictures of. That is orbiting the Earth. Okay. All these satellites that we've sent out. Okay. We should have thousands of real photographs of the Earth. Okay? And all we have...
Oh, Mary's calling. Yeah, go ahead.
And all we have is we have one from 1972, and then we have a small... You can answer it.
No, I want you to finish your thought. I'll call it.
Okay. We have one from 1972 from the last... I think it's the last mission to the moon that they had. That was the Blue Marble from 1972.
Yep.
And then they have a new one from 2015, and then they've got a few others that they created, also from through the years, starting it back at 2002 or something like that.
Talk to her.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
Turn up your microphone a little bit and put her on speaker. Because you should see those levels on your.
Hi, Mary. This is the mediator of the podcast. We have you on speaker. You're live.
Hi. I guess I just want to say that there is actually a lot of tangible physical evidence that shows evolution over time, fossil records. I'm not an expert in any of this.
Oh, you're an evolutionist.
Okay, so we're gonna discuss evolution now.
Tangible evidence. Like
Okay.
There's physical evidence that we can date. Like we can date a piece of paper and find out when it was made by testing its particles, the same way we can test a fossil and see how old it was.
Radiometric
Go
dating.
back through ice and glaciers and see what was in the air 50,000 years ago. So it may not be something that I can fully explain down to the particulars today, but there is real credible evidence to show evolution on a billions of a years time scale.
Okay, pick.
Mary, coming with the science. Thank you, Mary.
Okay. Stay tuned for your answer.
Okay, Mary.
Here. She'll hear us on.
Are we able
We'll call you
to
back.
conversate with her?
Yeah. Well, you can. Not anymore.
Oh well, she'll have to type in a question then.
Well.
Okay.
Okay. So I think her question
If we want to talk about evolution, we can go down that rabbit hole.
We'll dip our toe in it just
Okay.
a little bit.
All
Because we've already been going for 2 hours, and I could go for another 8.
I know, me too.
Honestly.
I love this stuff. I really do.
So I think her question in a nutshell is that we have all this proof and evidence, that you can look online, done by scientists and established.
Oh yeah. There's
established
now
people.
you got to understand scientism. Okay.
Okay.
What falls under scientism? Anything that you
Is scientism something that is like your shorthand for what it is, or is it is this an established?
Well, there's real
thing
science.
People
Okay.
say
there's
they're
real
like scientism.
There's real science. Okay, and then there's scientism. Okay. For instance, evolution from apes to humans. Scientism. There's no evidence for it. All the links in between. There is no missing. There is no evidence for it.
Maybe we haven't found it yet.
Okay, I mean, there's the Australopithecus, Lucy, that sort of thing. But whenever you go back and research the bones that they
Do you
use,
deny that those exist?
the bones?
Lucy and Australopithecus and
No. The problem is, okay. Well, first off, bones that are found in the dirt do not prove anything. Okay, they prove that the animal lived. There was an animal that lived, and then it died. It doesn't prove that it had any kids. Okay, and it doesn't prove that we evolved. It definitely doesn't prove that we evolved from this animal either.
but it proved that it was a kid from something else.
Right.
That it can just pop into existence, pop back out. And,
Right. Now they have the creation science, the Creation Evidences Museum, which is based right here in Dallas, Texas. Okay, they have gone and done research on Lucy, and they have determined that at best, Lucy was just a, you have your certain kind of apes, and some.
I don't think
Okay.
I don't think that species of ape exists anymore.
Yeah, the Australopithecus. Okay,
Yeah.
but at best, Lucy was just a bigger ape. There's a certain kind of ape that you have. Okay, there's different species, different kinds. Okay, I don't even like that word species, but I like the word kind because it's found in the Bible.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, so there's a certain kind of ape that you have, and then you've got a whole population of apes, and some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. Okay, you've got a whole spectrum. You've got tall ones and bigger ones. So, well, Lucy would have been
Just a monkey that just died, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's just
all
a
it
monkey that died. It doesn't prove anything.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
That's yeah.
All right. So are you also saying, in connection to that, it's impossible to prove the climate of what something was like millions of years ago using science? Because they can pull
now. First off, the Earth isn't millions of years old.
through. Right, but indulge me for a minute.
Okay.
So carbon dating,
All right.
pulling bubbles from Antarctica, just rings from trees.
Mhm.
You know.
The tree ring dating is very iffy, also.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a million other, or not a million, but there are many other ways to do all that.
Because a tree can actually produce several rings in a year. Ice layers can also be produced several layers in a year. Okay, because sometimes the tree rings and the ice layers, they don't represent years, but they might represent warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold. Okay, and that can happen several times in a year.
Corey Doss wants to know, did Neanderthals exist?
Yes. Yes, Neanderthals did exist.
Were they monkey?
And the creationist explanation, no, they were humans.
Okay.
They were humans. The creationist explanation was that they were humans that lived shortly after the flood, shortly after Noah's flood, okay? Because you still got people after Noah's flood who's living to be, a few hundred years old, up to 400 or 500 years old still, even after Noah's flood, okay? And these Neanderthals, what we call Neanderthals, they very easily could have just been people who were living to be 400 or 500 years, suffering from acromegaly and stuff like that. So,
they lived 300. Wait a minute. They lived 300, 400 years old. Is that what you're saying? Neanderthals lived that long?
That's what. Well, Neanderthals are almost, according to evolution, are not quite human, but they are human. They're like our close cousins or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they all died out. Okay, but the creationist explanation is that I just said it. Should I repeat myself?
No.
Okay.
Are there any more questions? Ask Mary to ask another question.
Yeah, ask Mary what's her best piece of evidence for evolution.
Yeah. Go ahead. Type that in. Mary? What is the best piece?
Cat, this is probably, I think it's from Mary, says, do you believe in DNA and our ability to read and understand DNA? Wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I believe that they've been able to map out. Have they been able to map out? I think they said that they could map out the whole DNA now. Yeah, they are going to be producing some stuff over the next few years because of their ability to map out our DNA. They're going to be able to produce superhumans over the next few years if they haven't been doing it already. Okay, they're cloning us. In top secret facilities such as Area 51, there's a whole bunch of top secret facilities like Area 51s. Also, there's facilities, deep underground military bases called DUMBs. Okay, and they do a lot of experimentation in these places that would not be acceptable amongst the average human population like us. They do a lot of stuff that would be sins against humanity.
So does that
in these places?
Okay, so these sins against humanity. Does that answer her question? Do you think mapping out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He said we do. He does believe in DNA, and he does say we understand and our ability to read it. Corey says that's science, not scientism. But
the DNA and mapping out the DNA. Yeah, sure, I believe that. That's not.
So
Mary has a comment on DNA.
Go ahead.
She says that we can see and read DNA from most living organisms. So can we compare the similarities in our strands of DNA? This is proof that we came from similar origins.
Okay. According to what we learned, or what I learned in college and high school, we are 90%. The number I think is 96% similar to chimpanzees. Humans are 96% similar to chimpanzees. Okay, that's That's the evolutionary teaching. Okay.
Mhm. They went one way, we went another.
Yeah,
Sure.
However,
Mhm.
okay, whenever it's just like this goes back to Lucy. You go back and research the bones and what really happened and the descriptions of how they found them and everything.
Mhm.
You find out that there were 3 or 4 bones that were found a half mile away from Lucy's skeleton, and then then they put them together and say, oh, this whole skeleton is Lucy's and that sort of thing. And yeah.
It's too much to fact check.
Well, yeah, I'm just,
But
I'm just
I'm
telling
with
you, the same thing happens in the chimpanzee DNA. 96% is similar to human. Okay, they are ignoring a whole the entire chromosome, the entire DNA strand. From what I've heard, from what I've learned from creation scientists. Okay, the entire no, this isn't creation scientists. This is actually the scientists who believe in evolution. They actually explained what they did, and what happened was they ignored a large percentage of the DNA of chimpanzees, and they ignored a large percentage of the DNA in humans, and then they took the percentage that was similar, and then they said that percentage was, and I might be misquoting it here, okay, because I'm just kind of regurgitating what I've learned, okay, but they took that percentage and they said, okay, this part of the DNA and this part of the DNA, ignoring all this other stuff, is 96% similar. But they ignored like a whole bunch of other parts of the DNA that was totally different. You see? And that's what they do all over the place.
So you're saying they pieced stuff together that didn't necessarily belong together. It's to fulfill their own criteria of making this work to fool everybody.
Yes.
To push
evolution teachings.
Because evolution is against the Bible and evil.
Right.
And
They want to draw people away from believing in Jesus. So that's Satan's goal, and it's also going to be anybody. Like I said, okay. Remember back what I said with Masons.
I'm trying to connect this.
Okay.
Like if it's one string,
connect it back to the Masons.
Yeah.
At the lower levels, they're just do-gooders. But you get up into the higher levels, now they got to keep secrets. And the higher levels, now you got to lie to keep those secrets. Okay? And so not only do you keep secrets, but you got to lie to the lower levels and everyone else to keep those secrets.
So you're saying that scientists are lying?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I think
evolution.
That was a question that got brought in, but
Evolution is a lie. Evolution is a lie.
Evolution. So
they are lying to us about evolution.
Because
evolution is not true.
You mentioned Area 51. Have we made contact? Have we made contact with aliens? Do aliens exist? Are we using their technology?
Okay, there is no such thing as aliens. Okay?
No such.
There's only 2 intelligent beings in the universe that the Bible describes. Angels and humans. Okay? We're the only 2 intelligent beings. Okay? And there was a mass number of angels that fell. As a matter of fact, this is one of the examples that I told you about, where I said stars are interchangeable. The word star is interchangeable with the
Angel.
with the word angel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, one of the descriptions of the angels that fell with Satan, they were called stars. The Bible says that the dragon withdrew its tail and drew 1/3 of the stars with him. And it's commonly known that 1/3 of the angels went with Satan. He deceived a whole lot of them, and they followed Satan. And so you have Satan, Lucifer, and the demons. Okay, and they're all fallen angels. Okay, now these demons and the angels, we know that they can manifest themselves as beings of light. They can manifest themselves as humans. They can make themselves look like us, okay? And
so they're not necessarily human. They are angels. They're demons. Okay.
Right. Okay. And so it's the biblical explanation is that these demons, these fallen angels, okay, they all are here to deceive us.
Yep.
Okay. They pose as aliens.
So these are the scientists, the Freemasons, the government.
No. Scientists, the Freemasons, the good people who run
Those
the
are
government.
people. Those are
We are
people.
humans. Yeah, they are humans. Okay.
There's evil.
Now, what I'm talking about, okay, is UFOs.
Those are the aliens.
Yeah,
Those are
the
the
beings
fallen.
that would be flying around the UFOs.
So you do believe in UFOs? You think that? But you think that?
Oh,
the
absolutely, I
fallen-
believe
you
in
think,
UFOs. Yeah,
So you believe in UFOs, but you
that's a
think that
scientific fact. UFOs, yeah, absolutely.
fallen angels.
However, I believe that what's
Is this your
flying
own
those
theory?
UFOs
Is this your own
is the
theory?
fallen angels.
Is this your own theory, or is this?
No, this is none of this stuff is anything that I've concocted or come up with on my own. Nothing.
This is new.
I'm not making up anything.
I wouldn't accuse any. It all
Yeah.
it all connects. Like it all connects in its own little bubble of what of how if one thing works. then
Yes,
how
it's a biblical filter for understanding existence.
So, UAP is a new name for a UFO.
Oh, yeah?
Unexplained
What's this
aerial
UAP stand
phenomenon. Unexplained aerial phenomenon.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's
Call it anything you want. I don't care.
I like it better than UFO because UFO is just something that's floating up there that's unidentified.
Yeah, unidentified flying object. Yeah.
You know?
Unidentified. They also have unidentified USO, unidentified swimming objects. If you see the UFOs in the ocean, and there is a lot of activity that happens underneath the ocean. Also, it's not just in the air.
Okay, so this is kind of a general about both topics. Daryl Glasgow Jr.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Daryl.
Daryl, we appreciate your question. It is, why doesn't he know that Christianity is only sun worship and astrology and JR keep contradicting himself?